How's it going? My name is Sick Waddles, and I have something to show you. Bee puns are officially canceled, and bee skins are officially in. I have removed my old skin. It's deleted. It's gone forever. I mean, what even was that skin? Seriously? It definitely wasn't as cool as Minecraft Bee. Anyways, the 19W41A snapshot introduced the always amazing, super sticky honey block. The honey block is seriously one of the most interesting blocks in Minecraft. It has a lot of unique and interesting properties. In today's video, we're going to take a look at a couple uses for this honey block, and if you are a honey block hater, hopefully by the end of this video, you will be converted to a honey block lover. If you like today's video, or if you hate the video but you like my skin, leave a like and subscribe because it's a pretty cool skin. Seriously, please. So, the first honey block use in today's video works off of the honey block's mechanic of kind of preventing mobs and players from jumping at their normal height. This is definitely something that's going to be best showcased at nighttime. So we'll flip things over to nighttime, then go ahead and put ourselves in survival for this experiment. We'll go ahead and give ourselves some night vision so we can see, and then some protection just in case. So set up some kind of trap somewhere with honey blocks and then trap doors. Then go ahead and find some mobs that attack you up close. So like not skeletons, spiders, maybe not as well, but something like zombies will work. Go ahead and go into your trap and then just wait and watch the zombies go ahead and try and get to you and then fall into the honey block trap like absolute fools. Then you can go ahead and stand on like the inside of your trap and kill the zombies, but be careful, if there's a bunch they can get knocked up here. This is a super simple mob trap that requires pretty much like zero effort when you're setting this thing up. Now, if you stand in it, over time, more and more zombies should pathfind towards you and try and get you, and then keep falling into this trap because they think the trap doors are solid blocks. If you don't place the trap doors in this trap, then the mobs won't even try and pathfind into the honey, so yeah, be careful, and careful, don't remove your honey either, that's going to kind of ruin it. Now you could get really fancy and set up some sort of item collection system below your honey, or you could just jump into the honey trench from time to time, but if you do that, make sure you provide yourself like an easy way out, because you can't jump out of the thing either. Now, you could, of course, like set this up however you'd like. It doesn't need to look like this one. You could create some square platform and then put honey all around you. Seriously, you can make it look however you'd like. Just pair a couple trap doors with some honey blocks at the bottom of a trench, either 1 deep or even 2 deep, and you've got yourself a super simple mob trap. Maybe this will help you farm up some experience or mob drops if you don't happen to have a spawner farm set up in your world quite yet. Now, the second honey block use in today's video is actually pretty similar to the first one, the thing I just showed you, but this time it's automatic. So keep in mind that zombies absolutely hate turtle eggs for some reason. We can use this mechanic and pair it with the honey block preventing mobs from jumping mechanic to create a super simple automatic mob trap. Set this up somewhere in your world, maybe like by your base or something, and then let mobs spawn. Zombies will try and go over to the turtle eggs, but fall into the trap and be stuck there. Now you can go over to this thing from time to time when the coast is clear and take out your zombies. Maybe you set up an automatic item collection system below this thing so then you don't ever have to even step foot into the honey blocks. Sure, this is definitely not the best mob farm out there, but if you're having a mob issue around your base, maybe you set a few of these little traps out around the outskirts, and then you should start to notice less zombies inside of the thing. By the way, the zombies' heads are black because it's a bug. These are just normal zombies. It's a snapshot thing because snapshots are cool. So use number 2 for the honey blocks, an automatic mob trap. Just remember though, that if your zombies can actually get to the turtle eggs, the eggs are going to go away, so make sure your turtle eggs are safe. While we're kind of on the note of bases being overrun with mobs, let's take a look at this next use for the honey block. Honey blocks can be used for a mob-proof base entrance. So, here's the mob-proof base entrance right here. We just have basically a pit of lava with some honey blocks. Now, we can go ahead and let's make this a little more challenging, a little more scary, and place a staircase so mobs could actually get up to us. We'll go ahead and spawn some husks back here, and then we will actually go ahead and we're gonna do it. We're gonna go over into survival. These husks are going to see us, and we are going to run for our lives and go over to our base. We'll use the honey block wall mechanic and enter our base, but the husks, these guys are fools. They don't even know what just happened to them. They're standing around on the outside of our base, and there's not even a chance that these guys would ever get in to our nice, cozy, clean green top over here. Now, you don't necessarily need to pair this with like a lava trench. That's maybe a little overkill. Instead, you could leave something like a 2 or 3 block gap where the mobs just kind of stand around and go like, what the heck? What just happened here? But this honey block wall scaling or wall moving mechanic is really easy to use. There's like almost no way you can mess this thing up so long as you're touching the walls. So there's pretty much zero risk in doing something like this. And if you decide to do this, you'll have a whole lot more base security. Maybe your friend who has no clue what these things are once the update comes out will fall for your trap as well and end up falling in the lava, and your green top is still amazingly safe and you're probably pretty happy. So honey block use number 3, a mob proof base entrance. Ooh, these segues are so clean today. So you remember how we had that lava pit that was kind of like parkour, right? Well, honey blocks can actually be used for a super simple, but also like advanced, depending on how you want to set it up, parkour course. Alternatively, if you felt that the last thing didn't make your base safe enough, you could do something like this to make your base even more safer. So this isn't only parkour, this is base safeness 101. We'll go ahead and flip into survival here so we don't accidentally fly. So first, we are presented with something like this. Now, the secret to this is not going on this side. This is the trap here because if there are no blocks below the honey, then the player just kind of slides down, and that's no good. That's not what we want at all. Instead, we'll have to go over to this side and then crawl along this wall. Yes, you can literally crawl along honey and you will still not fall. It's really cool, but it's also kind of hard to show off. I guess not like this. So here we go. We're at the end of this thing. Then we need to quickly move over and forward, and then we're up here. Now we have this thing. How do we ever get down there? Well, we could just jump into it, but no, that's not cool. You jump into the wall and then you slide down. Mobs could never figure that out. Now we have this mess. I'm a little afraid here. I'm terrible at parkour, but here we go. We jump along this wall, and then we jump over to this wall, then we jump over there, and boom, we are safe at the end of our super difficult, not really parkour course. It was hard for me though. So what's my prize? What do I get? Oh, sweet, a gold nugget. I've always wanted one. Or this could be the entrance to my super safe house. As I'm sure you've all realized, the honey block has some really cool parkour potential. Now, I've got to be honest, I absolutely hate parkour because I am just bad, but a honey block parkour course like what I have here would be super easy to set up in your survival world, or maybe even in your survival server. Or again, this could be the super secure entrance that you would have to go through each and every time you need to get to your base for your base. This is, yeah, if you have to do this much protection for your base, maybe you shouldn't be playing in that world. Maybe you shouldn't even be playing on that server because, yeah, it's just a little much. You definitely could do it though, and it would make things a little bit more interesting, maybe a little bit more fun. So, remember that parkour stuff? Well, this next one still has to do with parkour, kind of. Imagine I had an amazing base set up on this hill, and it's super cool and all, and maybe I have some kind of secret entrance to it where I press a button, I go into the wall, and then I come up to it. Now, that's all cool and all, but usually secret entrances are kind of one way, which complicates things. Our next honey block use is pretty straightforward and pretty simple. Honey blocks could be used for a quick and simple one-way exit to a base. Just go ahead and make a honey block wall and then slide down the thing whenever you need to leave. Just use your imagination here, but this honey block could be inside of like a cave or something, so it's not so obvious if this were a secret base. Or if you just have a really tall building, you could use honey blocks as a one-way elevator inside of that building. Basically, the whole point here is the honey block sliding stuff. That's really cool, and you could definitely use that for some sort of quick way out of your base. But there's not too much else to say here for this one. I just wanted to point out that that sliding mechanic is definitely a thing, and it is really cool. So we are absolutely abandoning the cool idea transitions now and just using a flying machine. Honey blocks are the perfect block to use for an actually useful flying machine in your world. Maybe you have like a whole city on the ground, or maybe just some kind of random platform up in the sky, but you don't really have a way to get over to it. Well, set up some kind of launch platform like what I have here, and then build some kind of flying machine like what I've built here with honey blocks. Slime blocks are not needed for this at all. Go ahead and stand on one of the honey blocks, any of them will work, and then go ahead and start your flying machine, and you will be moved along with your flying machine. You don't even need to do anything, you don't need to keep up with the machine. Honey blocks have single-handedly given flying machines an actual survival use. They're actually practical now because you don't need to balance and try and stay on these things. You can just zone out and ride your flying machine over to wherever it's taking you to. Now this flying machine is inching its way over to the village. This is actually yesterday's snapshot stuff, but maybe in your survival world, this would move you again from maybe one end of your base to the other end, or from one farm over to another one, something like that. Just make sure you don't step off of the honey blocks or you are going to fall. Oh, but remember, honey blocks will still pick up other blocks, so don't put things in the way, and make sure you have an actual thing to stop your flying machine, because otherwise, it's going to fly forever. So in short, the annoying trying to keep up with the flying machine stuff, that is no more. The next honey block use on our list today is really amazing and actually comes from Twitter. When I was setting this video up, I put out a tweet asking for some creative honey block uses, and Sir Baconface replied with an absolutely amazing one. So this is our kitchen right here, and the honey block is actually perfect for a honey jar. The texture is like kind of see-through, looks like glass, and this is just genius. When I saw this tweeted at me, I was literally amazed. It's so simple, but this looks like a perfect honey jar. Like, it's amazing. To recreate this, start by placing a honey block down and then place signs on all sides of that block. After placing your signs, place an item frame on top and then some wood inside of that frame, and then boom, you have yourself a honey jar. This is super cool, and I think this makes a really nice decorational piece. And the last thing on our use today. I'll show you it in a minute. I think you'll like it, hopefully. There's one more honey block mechanic that we haven't talked about in today's video until now. Honey blocks act as glue for not only the player, but also for entities and other mobs like Minecraft villagers. Go ahead and set up some villagers standing on some honey blocks and attach those honey blocks to some sticky pistons. Go ahead and unpower and power those pistons, and your villagers will dance happily. Look at the smiles on their faces forever, which is really loud, but also a beautiful sight. Make sure you provide your villagers with no option of an exit so they don't try and leave their dancing show. Okay, maybe not the last one. That's maybe a little cruel and insensitive to the villagers, but those are some honey block uses. Honey blocks actually have a lot of unique properties, and that actually allows for a lot of creative and interesting uses for these blocks. Now, I hope you enjoyed the video. My name is Waddles. Thank you very much for watching. Links, everything like that down in the description, and go have a good day. I will see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.